Hi there, future academics and graduate students. Welcome to my channel. Today we're diving into the unwritten rules of graduate school, straight from someone who's been through the trenches and emerged with three master's degree and a PhD. Yep, that's me. And I did it as a single parent. If I can do it, so can you. Get ready for some straight talk, straight from someone who's been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Three master's degree and a PhD, and as a single parent, no, it wasn't easy, but I'm willing to share my experience with you. I'm willing to share the secrets, the things that you won't find in the graduate student handbook. This is the unwritten rules of graduate school. From mastering the academic decorum and maximizing the network opportunities that are important that propelled me to completing the degrees and getting in the program, but most importantly, to get out with a degree. Whether you're a novice or a seasoned graduate student, this video is your roadmap to success. Tune in now and gain some knowledge on how to thrive in graduate school. Welcome to rule number 3. Stop looking for a friend when you need an expert and you need an advisor. Sometimes when you start graduate school, you will be assigned an advisor. An assigned advisor isn't the person necessarily that you might keep your entire academic career from classes, coursework until your dissertation, until you get your PhD. If you're working on a master's thesis, more than likely this person is your advisor, but sometimes we get mistaken on what our advisor's role and responsibilities are, and sometimes our expectations don't quite match up. We think advisor, this person is supposed to give us advice. At the master's level, this person is supposed to help you select courses, let you know what's required, perhaps in the sequence that they are required, and whether or not there are possible substitutes. And sometimes you might actually write your master's thesis with this person. But that's basically it. An advisor at the graduate level, when you're getting a PhD, they have a lot more invested, and sometimes the expectation is even more from the students' perspectives, where they think that the advisor, beyond signing off on the courses, sometimes the advisor is the head of their lab, and therefore you work for this person. And so you interact with this person a lot more than if you were a master's student. It's important that you don't just settle on the advisor that is given to you, assigned to you. It's important that you find someone that you work well with together, that your working styles are in sync. For example, if you are a person who doesn't like to be micromanaged like myself, then it doesn't make sense to find an advisor who micromanage every aspect of your academic career because you will be frustrated and then you might not actually finish your degree because your working styles are different. It's also important to keep in mind that sometimes switching advisors, so let's say, for example, that your school does not have a rotation where people rotate in different labs in order to find a good match. Let's say if your school doesn't have that as an option and you started with someone that you realize that no, I can't do 4 years of this, this is really too much. How do you switch out of that situation? And when you think, oh, the department is very big and I'll just easily find another advisor, well, it's difficult, even in large departments, to find advisors. And if you think of advisors as supervisors, as you as an employee, and your advisor is your supervisor. And if your advisor is funding you, providing the funding for your academic career, funding for the research, paying your tuition, then if you are trying to switch advisors, now you have to find someone who is going to be willing to do that for you instead. Otherwise, you might actually have to take out student loans, pay for your education yourself, etc. That's why it's important that the relationship works and works well. If you are a minority in graduate school, the chances that you will find a minority professor to be a mentor for you is going to be pretty small given the lack of diversity at most institutions in the United States. Therefore, it might not a race match might not be the most important thing. A gender match, if you are a woman, you're looking for a woman in your department. Still, that might be nice. The race match might be nice, but it's more important to find someone that you can work well and get along well together, and more importantly, that you can have a comfortable working relationship. And most importantly, I'm always suggesting that students get someone who has tenure. Now, there are people who disagree with me on that point because when you first graduate from graduate school with a PhD, you will be looking for students to work with you. And so, therefore, if I give advice to say, hey, you should find someone who has tenure, that means that the first level assistant professors, then they will have a hard time finding students to work in their lab. And yes, while the research area that the person is working on is an important aspect of finding someone that you want to work with, the difference between tenure and non-tenure is assistant professors, they don't have tenure. Someone who is an associate professor or full professors, they have tenure. The fact is that they're not trying to get tenure while they're supposed to be supervising you or your research because they will be in competition with trying to get tenure while still trying to support you and your needs. And if it comes down to the choice between them helping you and them helping themselves and their family, they're going to pick themselves first. So generally, I say get someone with tenure, then you don't have that distraction in your progress towards your PhD. Find someone who is also well respected in the department. So, for example, my advisor was well respected in his department. Nobody messed with his students. And by being in the department, you can find out who is well respected in the department and think about considering that person to be your advisor. Then, on top of that, I usually, as a dissertation coach, I usually get calls from students who are running their dissertation idea or even their master's topic idea by this person to try to get them to be their advisor, and they wonder why they're running in circles. The person starting, say, start again, think about this. No, that doesn't work. It's because it has to be a match. If you're thinking about having someone to be your advisor, you need to think about what is the advisor's main research? What is the advisor an expert in? If they're an expert in X and you are trying to do research on Y, the only way that they will say yes to your topic idea is if you can make a topic that has X plus Y. They are not going to start a new research topic because you're interested in Y. If they have no expertise in Y, they're not going to be interested in your topic, and they will not come out straight talk and say, hey, look, I don't do Y. Maybe you should find somebody else. They don't do that. They sometimes read a little bit of what you've submitted on Y, and then they tell you, oh, that's not really working, et cetera, et cetera. And your spinning your wheels trying to figure out why don't they approve my topic. So do your homework before you find an advisor. Find out what's their last research paper topics. What has that been on? Then, importantly, when was the last time they graduated a student? Because if they haven't graduated a student, then the onus will be on you. The onus is on you anyway, but there will be more onus on you to know what the requirements are for graduation, know what the requirements are for a thesis or a dissertation, know what the timelines are for graduation. There is a lot that will be on your responsibility task list. If this person has not graduated anyone in a long time, this person doesn't know the rules and regulations of what it is to graduate a student at your university, find someone who has at least graduated someone before, and then manage your expectations. So there is advisor. An advisor can be someone who signs off on your paperwork. It's important to make sure that that person submits the paperwork on time, that they know where to sign, where to get the form if there is a form to be filled out. There sometimes that's all that that person can do for you. They have done their job. You might be looking for a mentor. A mentor is someone who can help you with your academic career, or your maybe you don't want to go into academia but you want to go into industry, you want to do something else beyond get a PhD, which hopefully is the case, and that person can talk to you, you can run ideas by them. They might actually work with you in terms of publishing papers with you, throwing out ideas, running ideas by them. And yeah, that's a mentor. And a mentor and an advisor might not be the same person. So if your advisor is not matching up to what it is that you need from them, find a mentor someplace else. But as long as the advisor has signed off on your paperwork when you need it, how you need it, well, then, okay, great, fantastic. Your mentor and your advisor does not have to be the same person. Then there is a sponsor. A sponsor is a different thing than a mentor. A mentor, again, gives you advice, runs ideas with you back and forth, looks for the long term career path for you. But a sponsor is someone who talks well about you when you're not in the room. So let's say, for example, there's a faculty meeting, or even there, let's say that the gym committee is on campus this week and they're talking about some money that they have available for students focusing on X, Y, and Z, and your advisor is an expert in X, Y, and Z, then your advisor, the sponsor, if your advisor is a sponsor and a mentor, will put forth your name. My student, Johnny so and so, actually fits those criteria, and I can send you over his or her CV shortly at the end of this meeting. There is a sponsor who is sponsoring you for some career, fellowship, job, um, patent, anything. They have your back and they actually are making moves to make sure that you're in the right space at the right time. It's important that the relationship works. That's why it's so critical. It's not like the undergrad. The undergrad, you finish courses and there's just somebody who signs off to say that you have majored in whatever it is you're majoring in, and they sign off and you've gotten the grades. The advisor, there are a lot of forms for your qualifying exam. There's forms for the committee. There are forms that this person needs to sign in order for you to progress through graduate school. That's an advisor. That advisor might actually be chair of your dissertation committee. But then there is a mentor. A mentor is someone where you could discuss ideas about maybe I want to work at an R1. Maybe I want to work at a primary teaching university. Maybe I just want to be at some place in between, and they could possibly tell you what it's like to get tenure at those places. But a sponsor might know of a job opening coming up at this university by the time you graduate, and they have already let them know that you're graduating with a degree in whatever it is that they're interested in, and they can highly recommend you without any without any hesitation whatsoever. That being said, pick that choice wisely because it is very difficult to get out of those relationships when they don't work. That being said, when they don't work, here's my advice to you when they don't work. Even if, quite frankly, you can't stand that person, I'm just putting it out there 100. If you can't stand that person, you still have to be great. You still have to gracefully get out of that relationship. And to gracefully get out of that relationship, you have to focus on the research to get out of that relationship. You might have to say something like, I've changed my research area, and Dr. So and so, his research focuses, does a better match with what I'm interested than you, Dr. So and so. Why? It's important to manage that relationship because at the end of the day, it's all in one department, and the faculty do talk amongst themselves. And so when the relationship doesn't work, make sure that you take care of you and ease yourself back out. Start looking for someone else before you blow up, before you get into some argument, something with someone. It's not that serious. Take care of you and your academic career. I hope this presentation, this video was helpful for someone out there who's interested in thinking about graduate school and pursuing a PhD. Well, you made it to the end. Next week will be part two on how to manage your advisor. Thank you for joining our channel. Have a good day.